Hello everyone and people of YouTube, my name is Samantha Bright and this is my YouTube channel. Welcome. So today I'm going to be going over a sweat-proof, swim-proof, all-day proof makeup tutorial for a pool or a pool party or a beach day, or say for example you want to go in for a quick dip. This will last you as well. I'm using waterproof products as well as a lot of different techniques to show you guys how to take care of your skin underneath your makeup to make sure that your makeup looks the best as always. So if you guys want to go ahead and see how I got this look right here, then please just keep on watching. Let's just go ahead and get started. So I just went ahead and cleansed my skin with just some water, and I'm just going to go ahead and go into the DERMA Sensitive Skin Moisturizing Cream. I am now going to go into the DERMA Scar Gel that I've previously mentioned in another video. I've used a good amount of this. I don't know if you can see it. It's a clear, yeah, you can see it. It's a clear substance. And what you do is you basically just you scoop up a small amount and you just place it wherever you have scarring or breakouts. It helps reduce the redness of the breakout. It also helps reduce the hyperpigmentation of the scarring as well. So it's really, really great. And it works really well under makeup as well. So what I like to do is at nights, I like to put this on top of bare skin when I have my serums on, and then I'll put my moisturizer on top of that. So I'm just patting it into the skin. To start off, my lips are actually kind of chapped, so I'm going to go into the Bite Beauty mask, Agave Lip Mask. I'm going to go in with the Glam Glow Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer in Nude Glow. This is just a sample size that I got in a gift with purchase at Sephora, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this all over my skin. And what I like about this instead of the strobe cream is this is actually a moisturizer that actually moisturizes your skin. I've tried this before, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the center of my face, and it smells like Skittles. It smells so good. Anywhere that I want extra glow, so my nose, my high points of my cheeks, the center of my face, and my chin as well. Just work that. Next, to prime my skin, I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer in Smoothing. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the back of my hand, just like that. And I'm going to work this into the places where my skin is the most porous. The reason why we're doing so much prep is because I want the skin to be the main focus in this look. So it's important to moisturize your skin. It's important to exfoliate the night before you do this, just so that way you don't have any flakiness or you don't have any uneven skin texture. And what I'm doing here is I'm just pressing it into my skin, but I'm also moving the product around as well, so it's important to move it around, but just press it into the skin so that way it really just locks on to your skin, locks onto your pores. Now, to start off, we're going to start off with the face first. I haven't done that in a while, so I'm just excited to see how it's going to turn out. I've done this look before, and it's lasted me all day long, even when I was swimming, and I've only used setting spray and waterproof mascara. So everything else is pretty much how you set it, and it's pretty much depends on how you treat it like throughout the day and how you treat your skin, because the better your skin is, the better your makeup is going to last, the better your skin is going to look in your makeup. So it's important to also keep that in mind. So I'm going to start off with the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in the shade Shell, and this is my natural skin tone in winter. It's not my natural tan color, so I'm going to be doing a few other things that's going to help even out my skin tone for my neck to match my body as well, because as you can see I am very different. I'm very, very pale compared to my body. I know that. I just don't like to tan my face. So I'm going to go in with this just on the areas that I need the most coverage. So mainly my cheeks, my chin, and it's a very small amount. So it's not very much. You're just going to be doing a few swipes of this. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my Morphe Y6 and just blend that out. And again, I know this is a very, very light color. The only reason why I'm using it, honestly, is because I don't have a color that's my exact skin tone. I can't believe I'm this light in winter. It's crazy. Is because I don't have a specific color for my skin tone right now that matches me perfectly. So what I like to do is I like to mix foundations depending on coverage. And notice how I'm just putting it on this portion of my face because that's where I need the most coverage. I'm not putting it on my forehead, I'm not putting it on my nose, I'm not even putting it around my cheeks. I'm just putting it around my chin and my lower cheek area. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go into, I'm gonna take this off first. I'm gonna go into the Lancome Skin Feels Good Skin Tint in the shade 04N Sand, and I have a little sample here. I don't have the bottle with me, but I do have the samples and they work just as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my Morphe Y6 brush and just tap into the product. And what I like to do to ensure that I get minimal amount of product possible is I'll go on the back of my hand and just kind of blend it into the brush, taking off some of the excess. And I'll just go into my skin and stipple it. Be sure to stipple it in because you don't want to move the product that you already put down. And this also kind of neutralizes the color that we already put down. Now I know this may seem like a lot of makeup. It's gonna all even out and it's not gonna feel heavy. It's not gonna feel like you have a lot of makeup on your skin. I didn't have to touch up at all when I put this on. And I honestly love the way it looked. I love the way my skin looked. And look, it's just like a flawless base so far with like still like a luminous finish to the skin. So that's really, really important if you want to ensure that your skin is gonna look good all day long. And with this, I'm just gonna go ahead and cover my entire face. I'm also gonna bring this down my neck as well to even out my face. Make sure to get the entire area of your neck all the way down to your collarbones. And then since we didn't put anything remaining on the forehead of the other foundation, I'm just gonna go ahead and buff it into the skin as I normally would, just because I want as little coverage as possible on my forehead, just because I don't have anything to cover up, and on my nose as well. So I have my damp, I hate that word. I have my wet Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out very lightly a little bit further, just to make sure that all of the foundation is well blended with the skin tint, and to make sure as well that there are no creasings. Everything is well seeped into my skin, and it doesn't look cakey. Next, I'm going to go in with a concealer. Now, the concealers I've been using recently have been the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Medium 1 Custard and the Maybelline Dream Lumi Highlighting Concealer. So, I'm going to go in with the NARS Radiant Creamy to start, and I'm just going to be putting this on the outsides of my eyes, so just right here. And now with the Dream Lumi Concealer, I'm going to go in on the insides of my eyes and layer the other areas with the same concealer. So just like that. Now notice how I didn't do a full-on like triangle. I followed the same pattern, but I don't want to put too much concealer on my face because then it'll start to look cakey with the powders and such. Plus you want to wear as little makeup as possible when you are going out in the sunlight and when you are going to be swimming. So it's really, really important just to keep it minimal as much as possible, but still maintain the right amount of coverage and the right amount of brightness that you want to achieve. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out, starting with my chin. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cream contour, and now you don't have to do it in this particular order. Sometimes I mix it up. Today I used concealer first and then I did cream contour. You could always do cream contour first and then conceal. Some people find it easier that way to clean up. So I'm just going to go ahead and go on the very, very back perimeter of my face and just kind of draw out some cheekbones. Give me cheekbones, give me life. Now the reason why it's important to put creams down before your powders is because powders can fade very, very easily, especially contour, blush, they all can fade very, very easily. Now when it comes to creams, they are wet essentially, so when you put powder on top of them, it makes it harder for the powder to come off. So it's a lot better in terms of longevity. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put some on my chin, just to make it look a little smaller. I put a little bit on my nose to start out my nose contour and a little bit on my forehead. I have a pretty small forehead, so I don't really care to contour it that much. And using that Y6 brush that I used beforehand, I'm just going to go ahead and blend upwards and push it into the skin. And using my fingers, I'm just going to go ahead and blend the nose contour very lightly. And again, using that Real Technique sponge, I'm just going to go ahead and blend it all together with the concealer. And notice how I'm going in with the brush first and then I'm using the sponge. It's basically to just melt everything together, because even though the brush has the remaining of the skin tint and the foundation, it's going to help blend everything a lot more seamlessly. It's also really, really important to use a sponge as well, just to kind of bring it all together and melt it even more into the skin, because this sponge is wet. So it's going to really help morph all the liquids, all the powders together a lot better. Using the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Transparent, I'm going to go in with a dry beauty sponge. Yes, dry. So just a small beauty sponge like this, and I'm just going to go ahead into that product to stamp off a little bit of the excess on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to go in. Now I know I said dry for this step, and I've seen a major difference in my under eyes when I use a dry beauty sponge to bake with. And I feel like the reason why that is because the powder doesn't absorb into the sponge as much as it does when it's wet. So it's really, really important to use a dry sponge so that way you get the maximum amount of coverage out of it. And it really just stamps into your pores and makes everything look very, very smooth, very, very poreless. Especially if you have oily skin or acne prone skin, it's really important to set your makeup, especially in this heat. So it's just important to keep that in mind as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring this up the sides of my nose as well to start baking that. And now I'm going to go into a different powder to set the rest of my face. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to go into the Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder in Lace. And I have it in a little sifter right here that I just went ahead and packaged. And for this, you could use either a brush or a sponge. I'm going to use that wet sponge that I've been using. I like to use the dry sponge mainly for my under eyes, and then everything else I use a wet sponge. Also, if you haven't gotten this lip mask yet, you need to get it because it's amazing. Now for my eyes, I'm going to go into the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot using a Morphe and lightly just use this as a base for my eyes. And we're not going to be setting this. Surprise, surprise, I know. But I've been really, really enjoying the way my eyeshadow has been lasting throughout the day without setting it. Because when you put powder on it, there's an extra barrier in between the actual eyeshadow and your base. And that way it doesn't last as long. The powder is more likely to come off throughout the day and it just isn't there. And what I did for this particular look is I went ahead and grabbed my Morphe palette. I went ahead and grabbed two Morphe palettes. So I grabbed my 8L palette, the Lo-Fi palette, which is also a contour palette. Now this is kind of broken, so I have to be careful with it when I show you. Just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab this top shade right here, which is called Enemy. This top darkest shade right over here. Whew. So to start off with my eyes, I'm just going to go ahead and grab that shade Enemy on a Morphe 504 brush, which is just a big fluffy brush. And I found that this works amazingly for blowing out your crease. I'm going to show you another tutorial after this one on how to get like a very nice glam nighttime look using just like a few brushes. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this into my crease. And I'm just tilting my head back so I can get my crease shape. And using circular motions, going out and working my way in as well. You see how much I've defined it already? It's crazy. The power of makeup. Let me go ahead and zoom you guys in a little bit more. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side as well, using the same brush and that same color. I'm going to go into the Morphe 15B Brunch Babe palette, which looks like this. Can you even see it? Yes. Okay. Oh, it's perfect. Yay! We're good. Okay. So I'm going to go into the shade Tots right down here and picking up a E17 brush. I'm just going to go ahead and put this mainly on my outer V. And then make sure to keep that other brush handy so you can go ahead and blend it out a little bit more. Okay. Now to finish off the eyes, I'm going to go ahead and take my Kat Von D ink liner in the shade Trooper, which is the felt tip. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a small baby wing. Very, very small. And the reason why I'm going with the ink liner is because this is waterproof. And basically when it comes to sweating or doing anything vigorous or even swimming, it's important to have waterproof products so that way you can ensure its longevity even more when you are getting wet. I wore this liner for literally I think about 12 hours and it lasts, or more than 12 hours. I wore this liner for 12 hours and it did not move. I swam, I got water, I got splashed on, there was beer everywhere. It did not budge at all. So definitely invest in a waterproof ink liner when you can, if you are going to be going to the beach, to the pool, whatever. So liner is done. I'm not going to put any lashes on just because you don't want to put lashes on when you're going in the water. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom you guys out and then we'll be right back to finish off the face. So to finish off the face, I'm going to go in with that same palette that I used for my crease with the contour shade. And I'm just going to go ahead and use Donut and Debutante to bronze up and contour my nose. So to do that, I'm going to use two different brushes for my bronzer and my contour. For my contour, I'm going to first go into the Morphe M437 brush and the shade Debutante. And the reason why I like to go in with this brush first is because it's a little bit smaller in size. So that way you can ensure that you get right underneath the cheekbone. And I'm using the other brush to distribute the color a little bit better. And then going in with, this is just a Morphe brush that came in a gift set. And I'm just going to go ahead and bronze up the rest of my face with that, using the same color. And now the other side. Now for my nose contour, I'm going to go in to a Morphe E47 brush. And using the shade Donut, which is just more of a lighter cool tone shade, I'm just going to go ahead and contour my nose using this. And I'm just cutting the tip slightly, and then carefully going up the sides. Another thing that I actually found that really, really helps with my nose contour is, well, I have to blend this out first. Don't judge me, please. But after I blend it, I go ahead with my translucent powder as well, and I go ahead and bake the sides a little bit further. So let's just go ahead and do that so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I go ahead and blend this upwards, just very, very slightly. And using a dry beauty sponge, I'm just gonna go into that powder and lightly just bake the sides of my nose with that, just to give it more of a pinched effect. And for blush today, I'm gonna be going in with the Pop of Coral Blush Trio from Morphe. And I'm gonna go into these two shades right here. I love blush. Like, I feel like that Kylie Jenner tutorial was me, honestly. If you know me, you know what I'm saying. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out just a little bit using a duo fiber brush. And then lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and take off this bake. So next I'm gonna go ahead and set my face using some Fix Plus. And right before it's about to finish drying, I'm going to go ahead and take my Real Technique sponge, the wet one, once again, and just press everything together. And I'm going to go ahead and finish off this look with my brows, mascara, and a lip, and then we'll be all set. And today the mascara I'm using is the Lancome Definicils Waterproof Mascara. And you can always put on a half lash. I'm just choosing not to because I'm lazy, I suppose. And you can also go ahead and put on some highlight as well. I'm going to choose to put on highlight just because I'm extra. So I'm going to go in with a tapered brush. This is the Morphe M438 brush. And I'm just going to go into Lit and Cosmic using those two shades. And I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the back portion of my face. Just because this side, the front portion of my face is luminous as it is. And I just want a little bit more luminosity in my face towards the back. And then Lit. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit on the tip of my nose. Perfect. Down the bridge as well as in between my eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight my brow bone now using mainly just Lit. Just like that. Mainly in the center of the arch and then making its way outwards to make the highlight. And also in my inner corner as well. And for the lip today, I'm just going to go ahead and put on this e.l.f. Lip Plumping Girl.
5 hours later.
I can't speak. This e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade Champagne Glam. It has a little bit of a tingly feeling because it is a plumping gloss, so just keep that in mind. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shade. And I'm just going to go ahead and very lightly just like line my cupid's bow at the bottom of my lip just to define it a little bit more. And the pencil I used is the Morphe Bite Me pencil. I like this a lot. And I'm not going to put waterproof, I'm not going to put anything on my lower lash line, mainly just because I don't want it to be running throughout the day and I actually like the clean look that I have going on. So this is the final product. This is the final result. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial and enjoyed getting ready with me. Again, this is all just based upon preference and based off of what I've experienced. This lasts me a very, very, very long time, especially when I set it with powder and liquids as well underneath the powders. So if you guys want to go ahead and give this a try, don't forget to tag me as well. And don't forget to subscribe to me down below, give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below any comments that you guys may have or any requests for any videos. That would be great. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.